If you're someone with a tight schedule and always busy, you will probably ruin your life. Trust me, I've been there. I finally figured out and changed what went wrong in the past, but I could have saved years if I was aware of the traps and misleading paths I will share with you today, so you can change direction and save your life way earlier. Being busy has long been ingrained in my personality, my private and professional life. Having a full schedule all the time, needing to prioritize and still not being on top of all of my to-dos. That's how my life looked like for about 4 years when I was working in management consulting. But to be honest, back then, I loved it. I always wanted to join a strategy consulting firm, and when I finally made it, I was super excited about it. I mean, who cares about a full schedule, crazy working hours and to-dos if you're traveling across different countries, stay in awesome hotels, eat in fancy restaurants, and get a big salary and bonus at the end of the year. So at the beginning, my excitement was dominating and covering some initial doubts that I had, which materialized at a later point in time. I guess you also know that excitement when you start off with a project, a new hobby or anything like that. You're full of energy, hopes, and maybe dreams of achieving something great. And naturally, you pour all of your resources, your heart, and your work into such a project. For example, if you want to build a startup or become a skydiver. And that's great. Feeling passionate and committed about a thing is a great asset that you should use. But having such a captivating project, hobby or job also requires you to spend a lot of time on it. I mean, I had the same, working sometimes 70 or 80 hours a week on my consulting projects. So after the initial excitement and pleasure slowly faded and the harsh consulting reality came to light, I just focused on the learning. I was still super busy and working a lot, but that also meant I was learning a lot. Just think about this example. If you spend 4 hours working on a problem or task, you might come to a good solution. But just by doubling the amount of time you spend with that problem, so 8 hours, makes you either come to a superior result or you will be able to solve 2 problems of the same nature. Isn't it actually great to spend a lot of time with things you like or that you bring forward, where you learn a ton and develop yourself? Well, yes and no. Being busy and spending a lot of time working or with other things, it does not necessarily mean that you're making the best out of this time. Just being busy for the sake of it is one of the worst things that can happen, but more on that later. If you're busy and have a lot on your plate, always make sure to spend the time in the best possible way. Do not only argue about the time you have spent on something, because just looking at time is useless. You should always look at the input, the output, and its quality. So to make the best out of your busy time, make sure to do the right things, do them right, and make the most out of this time. So by combining all 3 aspects of being effective, efficient, and productive, you will come to the correct results or target, either with less time and effort, or you're able to do more of it in the same amount of time. So ever since I was in strategy consulting, I made sure to perfectly understand the ultimate goal of the problem or task to go in the right direction, and also found a lot of ways to optimize my workflow, be just with simple shortcuts or templates to make the best out of my time. Whilst I was learning a lot in that job, I got promoted and became more and more important with more responsibilities and of course to-dos. But now I was in a position to also delegate tasks to the team to make room for myself to think, plan and steer the project. Maybe you also know that situation at work when suddenly a big project ends or a new colleague takes some of your responsibilities and you end up with free time. Falling from 120% of workload to 80 made me feel lazy, and maybe you know that feeling as well. But feeling or even being lazy from time to time is okay. But at that time, I did not quite realize. Taking more and more responsibilities in my prior job, still working very hard and of course, having remained very busy, I tried to over-optimize my time and work. I was not questioning the amount of work and my activities anymore, just accepting the fact that I was busy 24/7, such that I felt being in autopilot. Looking around at friends and colleagues, I had and still have the feeling that being busy is the most normal thing in the world, or what do you think? Just ask around, look at others' calendars or lives. Nowadays, hardly anyone gets time to be bored. At work, there is more and more pressure on everyone due to the shortage of skilled labor, and in private life, you have your smartphone that helps you to distract yourself anytime with social media, news or games. I had the same problem back then. Whenever I had a quick break from work, Sitting in a taxi or the plane, I was on my phone and refreshing my feeds or still working, but never taking a step back to realize the actual problem. Being busy. Being switched on every day, anytime, just ruins your life. Because being busy does not mean doing good, achieving great outcomes, or doing essential things, as Greg McKeown in his book Essentialism describes. He says that boredom is very rare nowadays, but it is crucial to identify the essential things in life. Just by being bored, or maybe by just having the time to take a step back and look at the bigger picture and not being drawn into the details of your daily work, you can assess your priorities and think about what's vital for you, your job, and your life. When was the last time that you felt bored? When was the last time that you thought about what's actually being important for you? Maybe you have never thought about these things. Now, then it's time to action. That's also what I did eventually. Over time, I had reached a point where the negative aspects overweigh the positive ones, and I finally quit my job in strategy consulting. This made my life certainly less busy, with a lot more time to reflect and think clearly about my priorities. Now, please don't just quit your job after having watched this video, but there are a few things that you can do to stop being busy just for the sake of being it and focus on the essential things in life. First of all, you should take time to reflect on your life, your activities, your to-dos, and most important, your priorities. Think about what's essential for you and your goals that you want to achieve. That can be professional or personal goals. Just think about what are the absolute critical things that you need to do to finish your project at work or to finally run a marathon later this year. Be clear about those priorities and cut the rest. Just as Greg McKeown says, less but better. To make sure you stay on track, schedule dedicated sessions to reflect, for example, every week or a month, and act upon them. A great tool that helps is a journal to note down only the essential things that matter to you. The more critical you are and the less you write, the better will the bigger picture emerge over the time you're writing. In addition, you should also just embrace boredom and resist on the urge to entertain yourself in every free minute. From time to time, just sit back on the balcony or sofa and think. Put your phone away and think about your days and weeks, what's bothering you and what's cheering you up. Just by thinking clearly about that will help you to see patterns and priorities emerge. Now, having freed up some time, take care of yourself. Follow your hobbies and do what you love without having any busy thoughts in the back of your mind. I can best switch off when doing sports or being in nature. So going to the gym or taking a walk in the forest might do wonders and helps you to get grounded to see what really matters. Once you have realized what's important for you, it's time to follow these priorities. So watch this video next, where I will show you the 12-week plan that will help you to achieve everything faster.